Most men think they're doing everything right on a first date. But the truth is, women instantly lose interest over 5 mistakes guys don't even realize they're making. And the worst part? She won't tell you what went wrong. She'll just stop replying the next day. But once you understand these mistakes and fix them, you'll notice something crazy. Women get more comfortable, more interested, and way more attracted to you. Hit that subscribe button, because one small change in your behavior can completely transform your dating life. Hey everyone, Dr. Eva Danielle here, men's health expert. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about first dates, specifically the mistakes that men make over and over again that kill attraction before it even has a chance to develop. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. We're going to break down the actual psychology of attraction, what women are evaluating on first dates, and how to show up in a way that's authentic while also giving the connection the best possible chance. Here's what you need to understand. First dates aren't just about whether you like her. They're about whether she feels safe, valued, and intrigued enough to want a second date. And most men sabotage this without even realizing what they're doing wrong. So today we're covering the 5 biggest mistakes, why they kill attraction, and what to do instead. Let's get into it. Mistake number 5, talking too much about yourself. This is probably the most common mistake men make on first dates, and it comes from nervousness more than arrogance. When you're nervous, you fill silence by talking. And the easiest thing to talk about is yourself, your job, your accomplishments, your interests, your opinions. Before you know it, you've spent 45 minutes talking about your career trajectory, and she's checked out mentally. Here's what research on attraction shows. People feel most connected to others who make them feel interesting, not to people who try to prove they're interesting. When you dominate the conversation talking about yourself, you're communicating several things, and none of them are attractive. You're not curious about her. You're self-centered. You're nervous and trying to impress her. You see her as an audience rather than a participant. A study published in Psychological Science found that people who asked more questions on dates were perceived as more likable and interesting, even though they talked less about themselves. The irony is that making the conversation about her makes you more attractive, not less. What to do instead? Follow the 40 to 60 rule. You should be talking about 40% of the time. She should be talking 60% of the time. This feels unnatural because silence makes us nervous, but it creates much better connection. Ask genuine, open-ended questions, not interview questions like, where did you go to college? What do you do for work? But questions that invite actual conversation. What do you love about what you do? What are you excited about right now? What's something you're trying to get better at? Listen actively. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Actually listen to her answers and ask follow-up questions based on what she says. This shows you're engaged and genuinely interested. Share in response, not in monologue. When you do talk about yourself, keep it brief and relevant to what she just said. If she mentions loving hiking, you can share a brief story about a recent hike, then turn the conversation back to her with a question. The goal is dialogue, not dual monologues. It should feel like a tennis match, back and forth, not like you're each giving speeches. Mistake number 4, treating it like a job interview. On the flip side of talking too much about yourself is the mistake of turning the date into an interrogation. This happens when you're so focused on gathering information that you forget to actually connect. You ask question after question after question, checking boxes in your head about compatibility, but there's no warmth, no playfulness, no chemistry. She feels like she's being evaluated rather than getting to know someone, and that's not attractive or fun. Research shows that conversations that include appropriate self-disclosure, vulnerability, and emotional sharing create stronger connection than purely factual information exchange. The famous study that made strangers fall in love used escalating personal questions that required vulnerability, not surface-level fact gathering. What to do instead? Mix different types of questions. Some can be light and fun. If you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be? Some can be about her life and experiences. What's something you're proud of that most people don't know about? Some can invite vulnerability. What's something you're working on in your life right now? Share your own experiences and feelings. When she answers a question, relate to it with your own experience. Don't just nod and move to the next question. This creates actual exchange and connection. Add playfulness and humor. Dates should be fun, not serious job interviews. Tease gently, make jokes, be lighthearted. This creates emotional variety and shows you're not just evaluating, but actually enjoying the moment. Notice how she's feeling. If she seems uncomfortable with deeper questions, pull back. If she's opening up and the conversation is flowing into more meaningful territory, let it go there. Read the room. The best first dates have a natural rhythm. They flow between light and meaningful, funny and sincere, questions and sharing. That rhythm creates chemistry. Mistake number 3, being on your phone. This should be obvious, but I see it constantly. Men check their phones on dates. They place their phones face up on the table. They glance at notifications. They respond to texts. Every single time you do this, you're communicating that something else is more important than the person sitting across from you. And that kills attraction instantly. A study from the University of Essex found that just having a phone visible on the table, even if not being used, reduced the quality of conversation and the feeling of closeness between people. Think about what you're non-verbally communicating when you check your phone. You're not fully present. She's not interesting enough to hold your full attention. You're expecting something more important to come up. You're distracted and not emotionally available. None of these create attraction or connection. What to do instead? Put your phone away before the date starts. Not face down on the table. Away. In your pocket or bag on silent. If you absolutely must check your phone for a legitimate emergency, excuse yourself briefly. I'm expecting an important call from my mom who's having surgery today. I need to step away for just a minute to check in. Is that okay? Give her your full attention. Make eye contact. Listen actively. Be present in the conversation and the moment. Notice your urge to check your phone. Often it comes from nervousness or discomfort with silence. Recognize that urge as anxiety and choose to sit with it rather than escape into your device. The person in front of you deserves your full presence. Give it. Mistake number 2, being negative or complaining. This is a massive attraction killer that many men don't even realize they're doing. Complaining about your job, your ex, your family, traffic, the restaurant, the weather, politics. Criticizing others. Being cynical or negative. Going on rants about things that annoy you. You might think you're being real or relatable, but what you're actually doing is creating a negative emotional experience. And she will associate that negative feeling with you. Research on emotional contagion shows that emotions spread between people. When you're negative, she starts feeling negative. And nobody wants a second date with someone who makes them feel bad. Additionally, excessive complaining signals several unattractive things. You have poor emotional regulation. You're not happy in your life. You might be difficult to be around long term. You focus on problems rather than solutions. You lack gratitude or perspective. What to do instead? Be generally positive without being fake. You don't have to pretend everything is perfect, but frame things constructively. Instead of, my job is terrible and my boss is an idiot, try, I'm in a role that's not quite the right fit, but I'm working on transitioning to something I'm more excited about. If you must mention something challenging, include what you're learning or how you're handling it. This shows resilience and growth mindset. Focus on what you're excited about. Talk about things you enjoy, goals you're working toward, experiences you've loved. Enthusiasm is attractive. Bitterness is not. Avoid ex-bashing completely. Don't talk badly about your ex, no matter how justified you think it is. It makes you look bitter and unable to move on. If asked about past relationships, keep it brief and balanced. We ultimately wanted different things, but I learned a lot about what I'm looking for. Be someone who adds positive energy to her life. People are drawn to those who make them feel good, hopeful, and energized. Mistake number 1, coming on too strong physically. This is the biggest mistake and the one that makes women feel most unsafe. Touching too much too soon, invading personal space, being overtly sexual in conversation, pushing for physical escalation when she's not showing clear receptiveness, assuming intimacy before trust is established. Here's what men often don't understand. For women, physical safety is a constant background concern on dates, especially first dates with someone they don't know well. She's assessing whether you respect boundaries, whether you can read social cues, whether she'll be safe alone with you. When you push physical boundaries too quickly, you trigger that safety concern. Even if you have completely benign intentions, she doesn't know that yet. And once she feels unsafe, attraction is dead. Research on female mate preferences consistently shows that trustworthiness and respect for boundaries are critical for women's attraction, especially in early interactions. What to do instead? Start with minimal, appropriate touch. A brief touch on the arm during conversation, a hand on her lower back when guiding her through a door. These should be brief, contextual, and respectful. Read her response. If she leans in or reciprocates the touch, that's a green light. If she pulls away or stiffens, that's a red light. Adjust accordingly. Let her set the pace. If she's initiating touch, leaning close, or creating physical proximity, you can match that energy. If she's maintaining distance, respect it. Save sexual topics for when there's established comfort and she introduces them. Don't make sexual jokes or comments early unless she goes there first and seems comfortable. At the end of the date, read the situation. If the date went well and she seems receptive, a brief hug or a kiss on the cheek might be appropriate. If you're uncertain, err on the side of conservative. You can always escalate on a second date. You can't undo making her uncomfortable on the first. Ask when uncertain. Can I kiss you? Might seem awkward, but many women find it respectful and attractive. It shows you value consent and aren't just taking what you want. The underlying pattern. Notice the pattern across all 5 mistakes. They all involve making the date about you and your needs, rather than creating a positive, safe, engaging experience for both of you. Talking too much about yourself centers you. Interrogating centers your evaluation of her. Being on your phone centers your other priorities. Being negative centers your complaints. Coming on too strong physically centers your desires over her comfort. The shift you need to make is from, how do I impress her? To, how do I create an experience where we both feel good and can see if there's genuine connection? What actually creates attraction on first dates? Let me tell you what does work, based on both research and real-world experience. Presence and attention. Being fully engaged in the conversation and moment. Genuine curiosity about her. Asking questions because you actually want to know, not because you're following a script. Appropriate confidence. Not arrogance or try-hard behavior, but comfort in yourself and the situation. Emotional intelligence. Reading social cues. Adjusting your behavior based on her responses. Showing empathy. Sense of humor. Being able to laugh, be playful, and not take everything too seriously. Respect for boundaries. Physical, emotional, and conversational boundaries. Positive energy. Being someone she enjoys spending time with because you make the experience enjoyable. Authenticity. Being genuinely yourself rather than performing what you think will impress her. These qualities create the foundation for attraction. The mistakes we discussed destroy that foundation. The mindset shift that changes everything. Here's the mindset shift that will transform your dating life. Stop trying to make her like you. Start being curious about whether you genuinely like each other. When you're focused on impressing her, you make all 5 mistakes. You talk too much to prove your worth. You interrogate to gather data. You check your phone because you're nervous. You complain to seem real. You push physically because you're focused on outcome. When you're genuinely curious about connection, you relax. You ask questions because you're interested. You listen because you want to understand her. You stay present because you're enjoying the interaction. You're positive because you're looking for what's good. You respect boundaries because you want her to feel safe. This shift from performance to genuine exploration makes you more attractive and makes the experience better for both of you. The pre-date preparation. Set yourself up for success before the date even starts. Choose a good location. Somewhere you can actually talk, not too loud, not too quiet, not too formal. Coffee shops, casual restaurants, wine bars, walks in interesting neighborhoods. Arrive a few minutes early. This gives you time to settle, use the bathroom, and be relaxed when she arrives. Silence your phone and put it away before she gets there. Have some conversation topics ready so you're not scrambling if there's awkward silence. Recent experiences, upcoming plans, interesting questions. Set an intention. I want to be present and curious. I want us both to enjoy this regardless of outcome. The post-date behavior. The date doesn't end when you say goodbye. How you handle the aftermath matters. If you had a good time and want to see her again, communicate that clearly within 24 hours. I really enjoyed meeting you. I'd love to take you to dinner this weekend if you're interested. If you didn't feel a connection, be honest but kind. I enjoyed meeting you, but I didn't feel the romantic connection I'm looking for. I wish you all the best. Don't ghost. Don't string someone along. Don't leave them wondering. Basic respect costs nothing. If she's the one who's not interested, accept it gracefully. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate your honesty. Take care. How you handle rejection and deliver rejection says a lot about your character. Your action plan. This week, if you have a date, review these 5 mistakes and commit to avoiding them. Prepare 5 to 10 genuine questions you're curious about. Choose a good location where you can actually talk. Put your phone on silent and away. Set the intention to be present and curious during the date. Talk 40%, listen 60%. Ask follow-up questions based on her answers. Stay off your phone completely. Be positive and focus on what excites you. Respect her physical boundaries and let her set the pace. After the date, communicate clearly about your interest or lack thereof within 24 hours. If interested, suggest specific plans for a second date. If not interested, be kind but direct. First dates don't have to be stressful performances. They're opportunities to meet someone new, have an interesting conversation, and see if there's potential for connection. The 5 mistakes we covered: talking too much about yourself, treating it like an interview, being on your phone, being negative, and coming on too strong physically, all stem from anxiety and self-focus. The solution is shifting to genuine curiosity, presence, and creating a positive experience for both of you. Do this, and even if there's no romantic connection, you'll have a pleasant interaction. And when there is chemistry, you'll give it the best possible chance to develop. If this video helped you understand what to avoid on first dates, hit that like button and share it with men who need this. Subscribe to the channel. We provide practical relationship advice based on actual psychology. Drop a comment. What's the worst first date mistake you've made or seen? I read every comment. My name is Dr. Eva Danielle, men's health expert. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Be present, be curious, be respectful. The rest will follow.